Turning Point USA's annual Karen Fest kicked off this weekend. It's the annual event that helps Charlie Kirk maintain his big head. Now, if only his face would grow at the same rate, he'd be good. And what better way to kick off the event than have Marjorie Taylor Greene, the famous Sasquatch impersonator, and I guess she's like a MAGA rap queen now or something? I don't know. I can't keep up with all this bullshit. So like every big name in the modern Republican Party, this dude started off as like a trust funder who wanted to be a rap star. But unfortunately, he looked like this and had zero talent. And I'm pretty sure he put his hair on upside down. I guess in this chud's mind, he thought looking like Wooly Willie, remember that magnet guy? Yeah. He thought looking like him would help him get laid more. And you know, maybe he was right, because he's probably able to hit this now. But only if he joins her gym. It comes with a membership. You get a free towel, and you have to hit that. If I'm understanding it right, if I read the rules and terms right. The story goes they told Wooly Willie he needed a big ass for his music video. A big shaking ass. And he went out and got the biggest ass in Washington, D.C. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back to what we were talking about. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Fash sass? Yeah, sure. She gave Joe Biden what could be, what should be, a campaign video for him to run every single day down there in Georgia.
Lyndon B. Johnson is very similar to Joe Biden. How are they the same? They're both Democrat socialist. Lyndon B. Johnson was the majority leader in the Senate. Does that sound familiar? He was vice president to Kennedy. Joe was vice president to Obama. He was appointed as the president after JFK was assassinated, then he was elected. His big socialist programs were the Great Society. The Great Society were big government programs to address education, medical care, urban problems, rural poverty, transportation, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, and welfare, the Office of Economic Opportunity, and big labor and labor unions. Now, LBJ had the Great Society, but Joe Biden had Build Back Better, and he still is working on it. The largest public investment in social infrastructure and environmental programs that is actually finishing what FDR started, that LBJ expanded on, and Joe Biden is attempting to complete. Socialism.
FDR is objectively one of the top 3 best presidents in our history. He literally saved this country from financial ruin. So attaching Joe Biden's name to FDR is not the flex Sasquatch is looking for. And while we're on it, she brings up LBJ. Now, Republicans don't like LBJ because he passed the Civil Rights Act. And for any chuds out there that have wandered into this video and you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's because the Republican Party is trying to cancel that time period for you. I mean, if you're a chud, I'm sure you've probably shared the meme that says the Democrats started the KKK, right? And they did back in the early 1900s. Back then, they were called the Dixiecrats, and they were unapologetically racist. So when LBJ passed the Civil Rights Act, those Dixiecrats, they felt betrayed. And that had started a little bit earlier when Kennedy had first proposed this and started drafting it up. And this is one of those moments in history where we really needed people to rise to the occasion. But no, the Republicans saw an opportunity. They saw a new voting bloc, a new base. And this is where the Southern strategy comes into play. Nixon, Reagan, Roger Ailes, they moved all their policies to the extreme right. And they were more openly racist. And what this helped them do is scoop up those Dixiecrats and get them to flip sides. And the Southern strategy is alive and well. I mean, just listen to Fast Sass here, right? She's saying that, like LBJ, Biden is trying to connect the urban areas. Code for helping minorities. It's why every election cycle, red states attack predominantly black and minority areas. They put a fraction of the voting machines in these areas to drum up long lines. You know, we're talking 3, 4, 5 hours. And now they've even made it illegal to give people in those lines water. January 6th, there's war and carried Confederate flags inside the Capitol. Tuberville from Alabama spent a good chunk of last week trying to say that white nationalism wasn't racist. White nationalism, not racist. Yeah. The violence we saw in Charlottesville, just because they wanted to remove Confederate statues. The losers of the Civil War, the racists. This flag, just because they wanted to remove their statues, that's why the violence happened. So for all this to work, for Marjorie Taylor Greene to get up there and tell you FDR was a bad president, LBJ was terrible, for all this to work, we have to live in this post-education Republican America. And that relies on a good sect of this population to be so ignorant to history that they rely on meme culture to then supplant that and replace it as an actual ideology. Because I'll tell you what, anyone who went to second grade in the 80s or 90s, 70s, this wouldn't work. We were still taught history back then. We didn't have, the moms of the Confederacy or whatever they call themselves, the moms of liberty. We didn't have them busting in on education systems and trying to change them, trying to rewrite history to make them the good guys and to bring back white ethno-state nationalism. Without this concerted effort of rewriting history, a speech like this could never happen. She would be laughed off stage, as she should be. But that's not today's modern American Republican Party. And Charlie Smallface knows that. And that's why he opens up with her. If this is your first time to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I am going to put up these shirts. Like I told you guys, I printed out some shirts. I'm happy with them. I don't want to start a Patreon. I want you guys to get something if you pay for it. So any proceeds from buying these shirts will go to the channel. So I'll put that in the link if you want one. Go ahead and buy it. I'm not an Etsy mom, so I have no idea if I've done it right and if I'm going to make any money off of it or if it's going to be a wash. But hey, whatever. So I'll put the link down in the comments. And make sure you like and subscribe. The Chud Report.